Open your mind to the way, the conscious way, the way of conscious mindfulness. With me, Sifu Buggy. Sifu means guide, muse, somebody who points you along the way, who guides you on your path. Buggy means the balancer between the chaos and the calmness, and is my martial art, my spiritual, and my healing name. And for the last 39 years, I have studied the Taoist arts. The Tao means the way, the path, the balance. And I have studied things like Tai Chi, Qigong, Tita, Tuina, acupressure, reflexology, Chinese massage, Taoist philosophy, and many other techniques. And with these techniques, I help individuals help find their own personal way, path, or Tao. And I've helped many people with anxiety, stress, with chronic pain, but I've also helped life coaches, healers, light workers supercharge themselves and ensure they never burn out. Because the techniques I use can do both of these things. They help people find their balance and help supercharge them. And that is my mission. That is my goal. That is my Tao. Now, this show is called Sit Down with Sifu on a Saturday. Hello, Saturday. And welcome to another podcast episode on Saturday of Sit Down with Sifu. Now, this one is the Tao of the Barefoot Doctor. Now, within Taoism, there are many pathways to use all these different skills. There is the Barefoot Doctor, the Dragon Dog Shaman, the Cloud Whisperer, the Alchemist, the Taoist Alchemist, even the Qi healer or Qigong healer. There are many others as well. There are many other skill sets or ways of using these different techniques, different roles to do it. Now, this week, as I said, we'll talk about the Barefoot Doctor. Now, the Barefoot Doctor is a metaphor. Not all of the doctors were barefoot, but the barefoot meant they travelled, that they would travel around helping people. Now the barefoot doctors span back some time. Now, with certain, you look on certain information on the websites, and they only talk about, the barefoot doctors only been around for like 100 years. But actually, when you look deeper, barefoot doctors have been around many hundreds of years, if not more. And they traditionally were actually female. A lot of the barefoot doctors were actually female, but their role was to go from village to village, helping everybody in the village balance themselves and help them help themselves. And there's quite a few differences with the barefoot doctor to the modern day doctor. As I said, for one example was, rather than you go to the doctor, they would come to you. So a barefoot doctor sometimes had only one village, but on average they had one or two villages. There are legends of barefoot doctors that had 8 or 9 villages, and they would cover all those villages, say, within a month. Now, the interesting thing with that is when you understand the barefoot doctor philosophy, in the barefoot doctor, their philosophy was that their role was to help you maintain your health. Where pharmaceutical companies talk about maintaining an illness, the barefoot doctor's role was to help you maintain your health. And what that meant was that the whole village would pay a certain amount every week or every month to the barefoot doctor. And if you became ill, you didn't pay the doctor, because they weren't doing their job, because they're meant to maintain your health. They're meant to keep you healthy. So if you became ill, you couldn't work. You couldn't look after your family. You can look after and help the village and everybody that you help. So it was down to the barefoot doctor to maintain your well-being, maintain your health. So a barefoot doctor only got paid for you being healthy, which is a little bit different to modern day. So They would travel from place to place. And of course, this meant that because they had to maintain everybody's health, it it showed how good they was. That's why there was these certain doctors who were said to look after 8 or 9 villages. It meant, they must have been really good at looking after everybody, sort of like plates on a stick, keeping those plates spinning so they don't fall down and break. They managed to maintain lots of people in lots of different villages every single month. So that was one of the roles of the Barefoot Doctor. And like I say, in a different way of payment. They were paid weekly or monthly for you being healthy. As soon as you were sick, you no longer paid them. Now, the other thing with the Barefoot Doctor was that they taught you to look after yourself. They taught you to maintain yourself. So rather than we go to the doctor if we're ill and they give us medicine for our illness, the Barefoot Doctor would teach you techniques, the techniques that he used on you. He would also teach you to keep you healthier for longer. So therefore, making his job easier. So there was a dual responsibility. There was a responsibility to the Barefoot Doctor to maintain your health, but there was also a responsibility of you looking after yourself. So it was a balanced relationship, rather than you go to the doctor for the doctor to fix you. Is that the doctor actually shows you how to keep yourself healthy, and you worked together in tandem. Also with the Barefoot Doctor, they used more than one technique. So with diagnosis, they would look at, they would listen to your voice, they would look at your face, they would look at the way you move and the way you're acting, they would look into your eyes. There was a thing called iridology, where they could diagnose you through your eyes. They would look at your tongue. Again, they could do internal diagnosis from the tongue. They would check your pulses. Rather than your pulse, there's actually more than one pulse in the wrist, and they would check these different pulses to check your energy. And there was different techniques for them to diagnose you. And once they diagnosed you, they would help you in different ways. So it wasn't just herbal medicine. They actually used food as medicine. So one of the techniques they did was called 5-element healing. And in the East, there are 5 elements in the Taoist theory, rather than 4 in the West. And those five elements are earth, metal, water, wood, and fire. When we talk about air in the West, and we talk about air as being one of the elements, air is chi, vitality. So they saw it in a different way. So these 5 elements had different sounds. They had different times of the year. They had different flavors. They had different colors. And this 5-element theory they would use to help heal you. So they could actually, different foods would relate to each element. And the elements, we say earth, metal, water, wood, and fire. But again, they were metaphors more than the actual earth or actual metal. It was a metaphor of the qualities of earth, the qualities of metal, the qualities of water, the qualities of wood, and the qualities of fire, represented in these different foods and represented in different parts of your body. So from this system, they could tell, what the issues were, but they also then knew how to fix you, because different herbs or different ways of cooking or different foods could help you. So there is actually 5-element cooking, and 5-element cooking. So the doctor could look at you, have a diagnosis, and then give you a recipe, or them themselves would actually create food that would be your medicine. The food itself, the meal you're eating itself, would actually be your medicine. And obviously that works the other way around. You could be eating certain foods that were actually impeding your energy. because a Taoist, barefoot doctor, but Taoists in general, their belief of healing is simple. If you're ill, your energy is blocked. Otherwise, you wouldn't be ill. It's a bit like if the water is flowing, the water stays reasonably fresh. But if the water becomes still or blocked, it becomes stagnant. So their philosophy, so the Barefoot Doctor's philosophy, the Dragon Dog Shaman, most Taoists in general, is that if you have become ill, or if there is a mental, emotional problem, or even if you're spiritually becoming lost, there is a blockage. There is a blockage within your energy, within your consciousness, and you remove the blockage, and things will flow again. Things will repair themselves naturally, because the Taoists very much believed we are a self-repairing system, a self-healing system, which we are. And this is sort of being lost a little bit, is that we, like when you cut your arm, you'll hurt yourself, your arm can heal itself. We actually can repair. Our body is very powerful and can repair itself very easily, but there are things that can block that repair system, and when that happens, then that problem becomes more, it becomes bigger. So the Taoists were very much about repairing your self-healing system, ensuring that your system remained clear so it could heal itself. So 5-element cooking and 5-element theory was one way of doing it. So using food as well as herbs to heal you, but they also used massage. There's many different types of massage they used. They used energy work as well. So actually using energy to help flow through the body. Through the massage, there were things like reflexology, which is the massage of hands or feet. And it's sort of a bit like quantum theory, reflexology, because it's very much the part represents the whole. So your hand or your foot can represent your whole body. And a lot of people nowadays sort of say, oh, you have to believe in it to work. But it's actually a lot of case studies to show that people who weren't even aware of what reflexology did, a practitioner could actually find a issue, a problem, and would start working on it, and it could actually help repair that system. Now, the Taoists very much believed is that a healer doesn't heal you. The healer helps you heal yourself. So a barefoot doctor doesn't actually heal you. He just helps you help yourself. He clears the blockages or shows you how to clear those blockages so your repair system helps itself. So it's the same with the reflexology, acupuncture, acupressure. There's a little bit of a misunderstanding thinking, oh, that person is healing you. All they're actually doing is clearing that blockage. And by clearing that blockage, your body then starts to repair itself. It starts to heal itself. So it's not so much that the reflexology or the acupressure or even the massage or the energy work is fixing you. Is actually all it's doing is resetting your healing system so you can then heal yourself. So there is 5-element theory, 5-element cooking. There is different types of massage. So as I said, reflexology. There's also acupressure and acupuncture. Acupuncture is working with needles to activate the different energy systems, the meridians, and acupuncture is very acute, so it can only be done once or twice, really once a week. Where the acupressure, because it's actually using the fingers on the pressure points, that can be done daily. So the barefoot doctor may use the acupuncture needles on you, but then would teach you how to use the pressure points, how to press those pressure points yourself, so you can maintain that energy flow, you can maintain a healing. A little bit like the same with the reflexology. Reflexology on the feet is very acute, but reflexology on the hands can be done daily. So the barefoot doctor would help you on your way by doing directly massaging you or directly doing things directly to you, but then would teach you the techniques for you to maintain that by doing it yourself. So the acupressure, the hand reflexology, these were techniques that you could learn yourself and you could do every single day to maintain your flow of energy and to allow your body to reset itself, to heal itself. The same with the food, that, you know, obviously the medicine was more, you know, more specialized, but they could teach you a meal or say, eat this and this food for the next couple of weeks and make that part of your diet, and that will help rebalance your energy. So it's always about balance. It's always about the Tao, the balance, the path, the way. Now, what another skill set of the Barefoot Doctor was Qigong. So Qigong, energizing exercise or breath work, again, it's something that actually you do yourself. So they would teach you this Qigong, and then you could practice that when they were gone, when they weren't there, and you practice that, and that helps the body as well. Qigong, we've actually done a podcast. The last podcast was on Qigong, and all about that. It affects the mind, the body, the spirit, and it affects the body in certain ways. So the whole point of the Barefoot Doctor, they had different skill sets that they would use to help you. And my Sifus were their ancestors in the generations of my Sifus. There were quite a few Barefoot Doctors, and one of their philosophies was the more techniques that you use, the more chance of actually helping. Now, in the West, we tend to say, oh, you shouldn't cross, if you're doing reflexology, you shouldn't do acupuncture as well. Or if you're doing herbal medicine, you shouldn't do this as well. And they talk about, oh, you know, it can affect the healing. The Taoist philosophy, especially my Sifu's philosophy, is that's not true, is that these systems, if you work with certain systems in the right way, they actually balance each other and they help each other flow together. So, for example, even with me, when I have a patient, I will do some massage on them. So I do a certain sort of massage with energy work, Shun Qi Shen, which is like Chinese Reiki. Shun Qi Shen means flowing energy spirit. Me and Pine Oaks, we talked about this a couple of episodes ago on Sit Down with Sifu. We talked about the energy work, and we talked about energy work, and so did myself and my partner, Alice Wells. We talked about Reiki and about the different types of Reiki there are. So, and that sort of energy work, I use that. I use Shun Qi Shen, both Eastern and Western Reiki, and I also do acupressure techniques. I also do reflexology techniques, as well as the massage, and also using Tit Ta, which is Chinese, a mixture of Chinese osteopath and Chinese chiropractor. So it's different techniques to recreate the spine, the vertebrae, which again, when the spine is fully relaxed and the energy is flowing, the blood and circulation is flowing through it, the system maintains its homeostasis, it maintains its balance. But if a vertebrae is out and it's catching a nerve, that can cause issues, that can slow down, that can stop information going through your body. And as over 90% of your nerve endings actually go through your spine, there's a lot of information, there's a lot of things that communicate with the brain and the heart to the whole of the body, all that runs through the spine. So if a vertebrae is out and it's catching a nerve, that can actually cause a problem, and that can create tension in the body that can eventually cause illness, which can eventually lead to a lot worse things, as like your demise. So maintaining your health is a very important thing. So the whole idea of like what I do is, like I say, so I can myself help massage somebody and heal somebody to a degree, but then my biggest role is to actually teach them techniques to keep that maintaining, to keep that themselves. This is why on both YouTube and Instagram, I got a Qigong for that, meaning where if somebody says, oh, I've got a bad back, I give them a Qigong that can help them do that. Now, sometimes the Qigong is a physical exercise, but sometimes that Qigong could be a reflexology technique or a massage technique, because Qigong means breath work, working with breath. So sometimes sometimes a massage can also be a Qigong. You can working with the body, working with the breath to help maintain your energy. So the whole idea is for a Barefoot Doctor and for myself is, yes, I can work on you myself, but my goal, my aim is to actually help you heal yourself. Because the truth is, and that sometimes, I think healers sort of forget this, we're not really healing you. A reflexologist, a acupuncturist, a Barefoot Doctor, they don't really heal you. All they simply are doing is resetting your system for it to help itself, to you heal yourself. By us resetting the system, you heal you, and giving you techniques like the acupressure, the hand reflexology, the Qigong, teaching you a little bit about different philosophies. So like in the past, I taught you about the philosophy of breathing, how breathing affects your mind, body, and spirit, teaching about the emotions and how to deal with the emotions. This is all part of the Tao. This is all part of the Barefoot Doctor. And they would help you by teaching you these different techniques. And therefore, you could then heal yourself. You could actually help rebalance your own body, which is what's meant to happen, is what you're meant to do. So the Barefoot Doctor, again, it's a different philosophy to, say, the modern day doctor. The Barefoot Doctor was about maintaining your homeostasis, maintaining your well-being, and they would teach you how to do that. And if you were doing that, if you were maintaining your own health, then they got paid. If you got ill, they didn't get paid. It was quite simple. And the whole idea is that they would be on this adventure. They go from village to village, helping people. And the whole idea is that they would then, they're helping people, teaching people different techniques, teaching them, in essence, to be their own practitioner, to help themselves. So that, in essence, is the role of the Barefoot Doctor. That is the Tao of the Barefoot Doctor. Now, one of my friends, he a Sifu himself. He, in essence, has been my Sifu through books and through videos. Stephen Russell, the Barefoot Doctor, sadly, who's no longer with us. He passed away last year, but he calls himself the Barefoot Doctor. And like I say, it's a name, it's a metaphor of a certain type of healer, but it is a healer that helps you help yourself. Rather than going to somebody and, I go to my chiropractor or I go to my acupuncturist, twice a week, once a week, once a fortnight, once a month, and they sort me out and then I'm fine. The true role of a Barefoot Doctor is to give you the techniques that eventually you hardly need to see them. And the whole point of the Barefoot Doctor is that originally, if they had 2, 3, 4, 8 villages, they would literally see you for 5 minutes, maybe a week, maybe not even that, just to quickly look at you, see your energy. Do you need a new technique? Do you need a quick massage? Do you need a new 5-element recipe? And they would, and their role was to help you help yourself. So the Tao is about balance. And this is different to the Western sort of balance, but that's, that's a topic for another time. So that's been this episode of Sit Down with Sifu on a Saturday, all about the Barefoot Doctor. If you've got any questions about that, or you were interested in learning Qigong or learning energy work yourself, you can find me in quite a few places. If you are listening to this on a podcast, the information will be down below, but you can find me on YouTube under Sifu Buggy. You can find me on Instagram under sifu.boggy. You can find me on Facebook on the page The Way of Conscious Mindfulness. You can even find me on LinkedIn under my actual name, Paul Boggy Brighton. Now on Discord, which the link is down below, you can actually find on LinkedIn we have a community, and that community we talk about the 5-element healing, we talk about Reiki and energy work, we talk about Qigong, we talk about other things as well. We also talk about fairies, UFOs, because there's all a Tao to all of that. Everything has a Tao, everything has a way. So on the Discord, on the Sifu Boggies Chi Tribe community, we have an open community and we talk about many different things, but it's also connected to the actual school. So if you want to actually learn Qigong or energy work, there is an online school. There are different levels, and it also can be found on Patreon. So it's Patreon/Sifu Boggy. So there's many different ways that you can come and learn. Now, if you've got a question, if you have a sort of question that you would like me to ask about something I've spoken or something about Taoist philosophy in general, find me on one of these, message me, private message me, ask me the question, and I can do a sit down with Sifu using your question, or maybe even get you to come on and talk to me and do a live show where you're the special guest and we can talk about the Tao. So that's it for now. I hope you've enjoyed this one. Take care. Until next time, love, chi, and shen. Sifu Boggy out. And remember, open your mind to the way, the conscious way, the way of conscious mindfulness.